The Savior told me, say, don't depend on fighting them with that. You don't need no gun. And the Savior told me, say, the forces of nature against him, he got no defense. He can't fight that. And you have to take the message to the people. That I give to you.
I was told to deliver this message. You think you're invincible because you got money, bombs, guns, and planes, killing babies, innocent people. I think you're insane. Chaos and destruction is the name of your game. Somebody's got to stop you before the whole world goes up in flames. So he told me to tell you, I'll fight you. I'll fight you with will. I'll fight you. I'll fight you with brain. I'll fight you. I'll fight you with the sleep, the snow, the heat, the cold. I'll fight you. I fight like that. I fight like that. If you want to change your destiny, I'm just a warner, you better listen to me. Do justice to others, that's the answer. Come into the light of truth, it can solve all your problems. I'm just a reminder, if you don't do what I say, then there is no other way. He told me to tell you, I'll fight you. I'll fight you with will. I'll fight you. I'll fight you with the rain. I'll fight you. I'll fight you with the sleet, the snow, the hurricane. I'll fight you. I fight like that. I fight like that. I fight like that. Now you think you can take the earth and do what you want to do with it? You're destroying the birds in the air, killing the fish in the sea, babies in the womb, killing them before they're born. You like playing with people's lives, confusing them. Confusing their minds, but I'm here to tell you, you run out of time. He told me I'll fight you. I'll fight you with. I'll fight you. I'll fight you with rain. He fights with the heat. He fights with the sleet. He said, I am who I am. I can't be beat. Nobody has won a war against me. I fight like that. I fight like that. I fight like that. I fight like that. You like to make life miserable. You like to oppress. Look at what you've done. You've got the whole world in a mess. This revolution won't be televised. You won't be happy till the whole world's on fire. I fight like that. I fight with the wicked. I fight with
Hey everybody, this is Mike Walker, the CEO, better known as your business partner. Wanted to come to you real quick with a video message. This is inter-office mail, really for inside of our team. So I don't want you to really distribute this around. Just distribute it to your team members. Here's the point. Karatbars International is absolutely the simplest wealth building plan there is in the world. I promise you, I spend so much time just digging in and mentally understanding how this compensation plan works. And the key to everything is saving gold. It was originally designed as a goal savings program. The dual system is fabulous. It works fast. It puts fast money in your pocket. But the long-term sustainability for this business is auto exchange. It's saving your money, keeping your money, and keeping it in an asset that outpaces inflation. That asset is gold. So I encourage you strongly. Here's the key to this thing. Nothing in Karatbars is mandatory. Nobody's going to make you acquire gold. But there's something powerful when you start strategically and methodically acquiring gold and amassing and accumulating that metal. When you start doing it, it increases your belief, and then you have more confidence to go out and share with others the importance of building wealth with the number one wealth building product, which is gold. Now, in the compensation plan, this is what's important. Every single person that you introduce to Karatbars, they should be joining for a reason, for one specific and strategic reason, maybe two. Number one, though, is to build wealth by saving gold. So if you sign a person up, I mean, unless it's your mother, father, and you try to position them to build wealth for them, when you sign up an individual, that individual should be joining to save gold. So if you sign up 10 people or 20 people, you should have 20 contracts per month of those team members saving gold. Best case scenario, one contract per week. So you should have 80 contracts a month just on your personal 20 individually sponsored affiliates. Those 20 sponsoring 20 would be 400 affiliates. Actually, 420. Getting a gram of gold a week or one a month. That should be 400 contracts minimum per month. Best case scenario, that would be 1,600 contracts per month just with 400 team members. And then those 400 sponsoring 20 each. That would be 8,000 affiliates getting a gram a month. Better, a gram a week. Either way, it's a runaway freight train of wealth building. So please, please follow the map. It is strategic. It is clear. It is concise. It's the playbook. You hand that playbook off to your new affiliate. They read what they do, get a business package, get an auto exchange. Tell others, get a business package, get an auto exchange. What's going to happen is you're going to hit all the levels. Most importantly, you'll hit Gold Manager in about 30 days. And you should hit Gold Director in about 90 days. And from there, it's Gold Director Elite 1, 2, and 3. It's a systematic approach of creating a generation, a community of wealthy people who are making money residually. That auto exchange creates the residual. So you've got to discipline yourself. Nobody's going to make you do it. This is not one of those programs where you've got this auto payment that comes out of your account each month for some juice, lotion, potion, or pill that you don't even want. You just get it so you can get the check. This is different. You have to condition yourself, discipline yourself to acquire the product, and every time you get a gram of gold, you're making your family richer. Duplicate that mindset, and now you're going to start getting paid in cash and gold. Cash on your MasterCard, gold into your free savings account. Teach your team to do that, folks, and the sky's the limit. This month right here, we've seen more financial success than I've seen in 3 years. And that's because we're honing in on the auto exchange. So please get fired up with me. I couldn't send this in a text. It's too much. You wouldn't feel my passion. I need you to see me in my eyes and look me in my eyes and know how serious I am and how confident I am that this is going to change your life. Many of you are just contracts away from hitting the next level. Talk to your team. Share this video with them because their day is coming too. You hit your levels. You teach your team. They're going to hit their levels. There's coming a day when you won't even worry about what rank you're in because you've got so many people that you've helped get to Gold Director. Folks, let's go. I'm telling you, there's nothing that can rival Karatbars International. You got to catch on fire. And I needed to send you a video to share that fire with you. So as we say for Let's Go Weekend, let's go. Let's do this. You all have a great day.
Ready for Revolution, Brother Eric Teray Muhammad here, and welcome to another edition of Class is in Session. You just heard from the illustrious Michael L. Dalco, Senior Partner in Wealth Builders Worldwide, and he spoke to us about the fundamentals, the basics, getting hold of gold. Cannot express that enough on how simple the process is and how rewarding and revolutionary it is. So I want to welcome you for another edition. And we're going to talk to you this morning about this system of success. And we're going to hone in specifically on creations of lists. Okay, things to do, those things that will assist you in assisting others to help themselves. Okay, first, let me say thank you to everyone who participated yesterday in the tribute to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan here by showing, premiering his reflection, the backstory to the creation of the Let's Change the World box set, his journey in life through music. And it was a wonderful, wonderful presentation, and the input from everyone, the sentiments that was shared. I hope to be able to share it with him because I will send that production to his team, because it was really, really a beautiful undertaking, and the participation of all of you is noted. In fact, I was so moved when I started receiving pictures of people who actually ordered the box set, and started showing it as a result of what we were doing online, sharing the songs, sharing the commitments, sharing those particular anecdotes from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan about his life and his legacy, and people were inspired by it. Sister Patricia ordered her box set, and she unveiled it. It looked like the unveiling of the K1 Impulse. I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, and it brought tears to me, because that's what you want. You want to be an influencer for good. You want to be an influencer, and you want to be a communicator. And we were really blessed this month, this week, with this opportunity to share with you our desires in class being in session. So again, I want to thank you for that and welcome you all to this presentation. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm tired. I'm tired. I mean, I'm getting cranked up again, but I was really, really tired. And normally there's an invite that goes out ahead of our discussions. And it didn't happen because I just ran out of time and literally passed out after the unilevel training last night. And the unilevel training at 8 o'clock, and then at 9 o'clock, we had our wealth building presentation with Mr. Glaspie. And then I was on the phone for about 2.5 hours with Brother Dante Taylor, other leader, Mr. Gold Collector. And he dropped some nuggets on me, and I really appreciate his tutelage, and I appreciate his moment with me. All right. So I want to share with you, of course, out of the list, but I also want us to be mindful and aware that it's a very busy day in the world of Eric Teray Muhammad. I want to share it with you. Of course, we have our YouTube channel. We're asking everybody to go to this channel, subscribe, like, and share. You'll find past episodes of all the things that we do in the world of social media, in terms of trainings, in terms of presentations. You'll find past episodes of classes in session. You'll find new episodes of The Quarantine Life that is every Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. where we take some nuggets and express and share the anecdotes of others, how they transition and how they get through this quarantined pandemic. And yesterday I shared I did a presentation about the quarantine life, living the quarantine life. It's a good place to be. And we were talking about the opportunities that were available to all of us in this hour, because it's only in the world of reset whether it be economy, whether it be socially. It's only in the world of reset where opportunity truly shows itself, because there are people who can move in that vein and there's others who just cannot. So we shared that a little bit yesterday, and we explored what you can expect off of that channel at that time, 6 p.m. Eastern, every day, Monday through Saturday. All right, so that's our goal there. And then, of course, you can find me on LinkedIn as well as, of course, Facebook, where we are now. And I really, 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 truly appreciate the formats and the programs that you all afford me and allow me to share with you. Now to get to the meat of where we are. Success is a system. We discussed that earlier in our episodes, and that was a replay of Mr. Dalco from a previous episode, because we want to drive home the bedrock, the foundation of what we do in Wealth Builders Worldwide and with this system through Karatbars International. We provide a wealth building platform, a money system, an ecosystem. So this wealth building platform is based off of True Money. True Money is gold. If you don't know, get back to those who introduced this opportunity to you and let them know that you're ready to get started, because you want to hold on to that which is real. Okay. You know how we talk about real estate? I remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad telling us once that we call it real estate because it's the only thing that is real. Okay. Estate, that which you can hold on to, that which is foundational and you can branch forward with, that thing that is legacy implementing, meaning it's an inheritable asset. Estate, real estate. Why do we call gold real estate? Because it comes from the same earth that we refer to as land, as being a part of real estate. It's just as indestructible as the God that created it, and that's what makes it real, because the God is the reality, the only reality, you know, in the divine scheme of things. So we're sharing those things. Happy Caratversary to my brother Jaquez, also known as Brother Supreme X. He and his team, they're in their third year as of yesterday, I believe. And brother, it is an honor to soldier with you and share with you. Big ups to your sponsor, Brother Vincent Muhammad in New York, Brother Kyle X, and all those who've been so inspirational to you in your efforts, what you do, and Sister Yatira. And, you know, I keep forgetting the baby's name. Please get it to me, and because I really want to celebrate her being in the world. You know, hey, Brother Roscoe Taylor, oh, good to see you, brother. You know, and Brother Kwame Benter, Ready for Revolution. This man is so pivotal in the dynamic of revolutionary life, his commitments over the years, the things that he's done with people. He worked exclusively with my father at some point with the All African People's Revolutionary Party, and just always in the mix, you know, and he's always found himself, you know, rooted in revolutionary principles. And I'm just really glad that he's here. Okay, so good morning to all of you. The list, the distance between where you are and where you want to be. That's your list. It is the distance between where you are and where you want to be. Okay, but you got to know where you are. You got to answer those questions that we always ask in our wealth building format. You know, when we always ask the question, you know, when we open up our platforms, we ask the question, how did it go? What is your plan? Where are you in life right now? And where would you like to be in the future? Okay. And the distance between those two questions as a networker, as a wealth builder, is your list. Because it's the opportunity that you communicate, you know, and that you communicate successfully that produces a Michael L. Dalco, that produces a Mr. Tyrone Best, that produces many of you on this line this morning, you know. And so these are the systems that when we apply them, they yield and bear the fruit that we absolutely need. So that list, the distance between where you are and where you want to be. Now, for our purposes today, this discussion is rooted in the verb meaning of the list. Okay. Now, to have a list as a verb, all right, to make a list or enumerate, to include on a list, to register, to place oneself in a specific category, list himself as a political liberal. That's the example. But also, what they consider the archaic definition or terminology is recruit. Okay, let's start with the latter. Let's start with recruit. Many of you have been a part of networking for quite some time, and as a result, you know some things. Okay, you've experienced patterns and growth that were developed. All right. Hey, Sister Patricia, really enjoyed your testimony yesterday on receiving the box set. Thank you so much. I shared it with many people in the Nation of Islam. We were so excited to see that you, the stick-to-itiveness, and you got your box set. Okay, so when many of us have been a part of networking, whether it was affiliate marketing, whether it was multi-level marketing or direct sales, and in those instances, years ago, we didn't have all the social media. You know, there was no emailing or faxing, let alone text messaging, chatting in rooms on the internet. There were no platforms. There were no YouTube, LinkedIn, were no Facebook. None of this existed. We know it was years later before we even came into the world of bulletin boards. Remember the BBS systems? Okay, so those things were non-existent in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. It wasn't until roughly the mid 80s we started doing things like faxing and then communicating over the highway. This the super highway they used to call it. You remember CompuServe? You know, you remember all the fax sounds that you used to get? Ding, ding, bong, all this noise and all this static that tell you were making progress and making connections over your wires, your landlines, and things of that nature. Heck, most of us don't even remember a rotary phone or a push button phone. Anyway, in those early years where it just depended upon you contacting people, you developed a list. And that list was designed to do what? To invite, present, close. That's what it was designed to do. And your list consisted of 2,000 to 3,000 names at least. At least. You know, why? Because even then, it was determined that anybody by the age of 30 knew at least 2,000 to 3,000 people by first name and on a first name basis. And on top of it, now that's accelerated now in this world of technology, but even then, they used to have phone books. You remember the phone book? The big, gigantic Mom Bell directories, and they were broken up in regions. If you lived on the West Coast, you had a Pacific Bell and all that kind of stuff. But these were phone books that carried yellow pages. The yellow pages were designed to show you the businesses in the area code, and the white pages were designed to show you the personal names and numbers of people. And salespeople would take the phone book of a specific area code, and they would make a list of those names. Some people used to tear out the phone book, the pages, and just clip them onto a board, and they would work out of that phone list, and they would be on their phones at home, or they would spend their nickels or their dimes as they would go to payphones and work from payphones, and they would schedule appointments, and then they would drive to those cities, and it would be miles and miles of driving there and back. You know, not with the convenience that you find in vehicles today. You know, a lot of bells and whistles come with vehicles today. And they did this, and they did it to the fine tune of a system. They worked as regimentedly, and as a result, they helped to grow an industry that today does over $200 billion in America. It's the largest grossing hands-on industry in America. It outpaces sports, entertainment, the record industry, the movie industry. You know, when I say the entertainment, I'm talking about shows and concerts. You know, combined, it outpaces all of them, and it's the number one way to build wealth in society. You know, we're not taught sales in school, and we're not taught networking or entrepreneurism in school. You can get a degree for entrepreneurism or entrepreneurship, as they call it, but it doesn't teach the fundamentals of what money is, and it doesn't teach the fundamentals on how to build teams. Anyway, that was the list early on, years ago. You know, my brother Jahi, he would go out and he had the McNally road map. Oh yeah, that's right, Sister Patricia, that's right. We had the McNally road maps, and you would open them up and you just drive and you follow your maps and you did what you did, and you drank a lot of coffee. Yeah. You know, so we had that portion. Today, we have it so much easier for the path that some of you and others have laid and blazed for us. And we can't seem to get a handle on this as it relates to technology. But I want to show you just how simple and basic it is. Okay, it's very, 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 very basic, you know, and these are things that we can absolutely do or should do. Here's the tool. Y'all know what that is? Y'all type in the in your comments box what this is on your screen. I'm gonna wait too. I want to see if you're really participating. Now, I write on everything. I literally write on everything. It's criminal what goes on in my home. You know, I write on note cards. I write on envelopes. I write in all kind of books, scrap papers. You know, I'm always figuring something out. Always, right? But that will not build your business. It will not build your business when you have intention. You need tools by which you work with on a regular, consistent basis that's dedicated just to what you're doing. It requires a focus. So for a minute, things were done so much on a fly by me that it yielded success, and at times very little success, because I was not regimented. I didn't dedicate myself to a routine. I was not, check out the word, you ready? Organized. Organized. You need organization in order to yield the proper results. And what is a proper result? Consistency. Consistency. So I want to introduce to you notebook. Now, I had this discussion with Brother Dante Taylor and Sister Santoya, who I see on the stream. Good morning, Sister Santoya. I had this conversation on their show, Midday with Tay and Toya. And of course, Ray was there too, Brother Rufus Jones Jr., salute. And on the show, I talked about how I devised my list. I talked about how I began in this journey and what I did. And these are the same things that I do consistently. All right. Now, I made my list. Why? That list in writing is a personal contract between you and the God in you, your intentions and the God in you. Sister, brother, other is the intention married on to the God in you. Okay. So when you write something, you create a contract. So I'm looking at Rev Azana, Golden Healer, and I can locate her at area code GOLDMONEY. Right? And I make that list. And I continue to make that list in a book dedicated for just that. For just that. Okay? And then I carve out time where I do the things that the formula dictates. I invite and I present and I close. So I might reach out, say, hey, Sister Tracine, how you doing? Look, I don't have a lot of time. I just want to know if I send you an opportunity to look at it, it's about 8 minutes long. Would you make time to look at it today? And I can call you back in about an hour. She says, yes. I say, great. Then look at what I do. I make the appointment, not in here. This is the list. This is the list of names, people I'm going to reach out to. This is my follow-up book. I want you to know and understand the difference because you're going to learn a process here known as reverse calling. Reverse calling. So I may have talked to Tracine out of this list. I then transfer the fact that this is my active book, and I transfer this. This is the called, if you had a Bible in networking, this is the book of follow-up. You have the book of lists, book of follow-up. Okay. So my lists are here. I reach out to people out of this list. When Tracine said yes, great. I then put her in this book with a timestamp. I write down the date and the time that I spoke with her, and I put P for presentation. You know, so I know what it is. You create your own legend, you know, and then after I put that in here and I put a time by which I'm going to follow up with her, I then put it down. And I come back to this book and I cross Miss Tracine's name out of this book. I don't black it out. I just cross it out. Okay. Because now she's in active mode. She's been activated. Why do I call this the book of follow-up? Because your fortune is in your follow-up. Your fortune is in your follow-up. You have to position yourself where you literally have a gold mine. What's in your wallet? You know, we carry wallets all day, and you know, things have changed in society. We no longer carry the cash. We don't carry it. We had 13, 14, 15 cards in our wallets and in our purses, and we utilize them as needed. Okay? But your cash flow is not in your wallet. Your cash flow is in your book of follow-up. That is your cash flow. And what do you encourage in that book of follow-up? Well, hey, Tracine, did you get a chance to see the video? I did. Great. What did you like most? And then I wait. You know, a couple of things are going to happen. She's actually she's either telling me the truth about what she saw, and then she'll think about the things that stuck out to her most. And she'll say, well, I like the fact that I can save gold and get paid to save. My response is going to be great. And we need to go ahead and get you started. And I'm already signing her up right then on the phone. What would you like your username to be? I'm going to create a generic password for you. And that way you can change it once your account is active. You see? I just need some particulars. You know, let me get your full name. Let me get your address. Let me get your phone number. Family, I did this at least I'll be exaggerating, at least 160 times a day for the first 7 days of my business. For the first 7 days. The formula. Anybody remember the formula? I'll share it with you. For every 100 people you contact, 20 will respond. 5 will join you. 2 will absolutely run with the opportunity. That's the formula. I don't know why it is. I don't know why it works out that way, but it does. You contact 100 people. I don't mean send a text and just sit there and wait for a response to come back. You contact 100 people. You talk with them. It'll yield faster results in conversation. You'll get presentations going. And then your follow-up will give you a commitment. For every 100 people, 20 will respond. 5 will sign up with you. 2 will join you. How many people do you, 2 will run for you. How many people do you want a day? I want 100 people a day. So how many people do I have to reach out to? You see, I want 100 people to respond every day. So how many people do I have to respond to? You see, I get a response out of 500 people in order to enjoy 100 people responding. Because it creates the volume that will give you your cash flow. And what is your cash flow? Well, let's see if you successfully set yourself up. Let's see if you successfully set yourself up. That's right. Sister says, as Mr. Best says, tell more people. But it doesn't just stop there. You do tell more people, but you have to say less to more people faster. Here's where the difficulty comes in, or here's where the trial comes in for many of us. Okay, we will get fired up over what we learned that brought us to the opportunity. We get fired up in the opportunity, and then we study everything that comes in. I mean, we get plugged in, we get plugged, we stay plugged. We got the power calls, we got the trainings, we're reading books and materials. I have books and materials I read all the time. You know, the Power Five, Pastor Harry Riley, you know, his book on gold. You know, I'll read all kinds of stuff. Fall of America from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm always in this book because he speaks specifically to the decline of America's dollar and the decline of the dollar in the West. So, you know, these are things that, some of the things that I go through, right? But what does it create? It creates an encyclopedia in your brain. And you know what? Here's the trial. We didn't come to this opportunity with the encyclopedia there. That built as we grew in our knowledge base. So by the time we're fired up and ready to go back to people to talk about the opportunity, if we don't have a system, then we go back and we throw up everything that we poured into our head. And that's not how we came to the opportunity. We remember what we feel. We didn't remember what we knew. We moved off of what we felt. So when you come across a person, you can't give them the soliloquy of Macbeth. You can't give them the whole encyclopedia, how gold is extracted from the earth, what kind of refining tools were used, how do you determine value versus cost. You say, hey, do you look for ways to make more money? Great, I'm gonna send you this video. Can I call you back in an hour? You think you'll see it inside of an hour? Wonderful. Write it down in your book of follow-up. You call the next person. Hey, do you look for ways to make more money? Great, I'm going to send you this presentation. You think you can see it in an hour and a half? I can call you back in 90 minutes. You write it down. Go to the next person. Hey, I know your time. I know you're pretty busy. I won't hold you long. Look, if I send you this video, do you think you have time to watch it in 2 hours? What are you doing? You're scheduling yourself for appointments in your book of follow-up. Now, let me tell you how powerful this is. Okay? I write everything in here. But you got to be intentional with your purpose, right? So I even have I was sharing with Dante, he was tickled last night. I even have a special pen that I write with. You see? I have a special pen that I use just for the book. You have to approach everything with intention to succeed. I go to live events. Most times you see me in suit and tie. There are times it's a little more casual. I went to a couple of cities because I forgot where I left my tie and what city it was because we were moving so hard and so fast. So I ended up going, but I was still somewhat refined, I believe. This was a bad hair day for you, brother. Forgive me today. But, I was tired, and I was talking to Mali in Bamako, Africa, this morning early, and building with a new wealth builder there who you'll see celebrated on Facebook in just a couple of hours. And, then I jumped from there and spoke to another brother in another region of Africa. And I was so worn out and drained that I didn't really make time to wear what I would like to wear to share with you. You understand? So, but my tools were organized to jump right in to the conversation with intention. All right. I want you to see what powers you into success. So, sister, we talk about say less rather to more people faster. Okay. Give you an example. I like using this example because it takes us out of the realm of goal per se, but it just shows us the science. I want you to understand there are 3 things that people want to know when you approach them with an opportunity. They want to know, number 1, and you might want to write this down. Number 1, what business are you in? What business are you in? Number 2, how much money can I make? How much money can I make? And number 3, what exactly do I have to do to make the money? What exactly do I have to do to make the money? Those are the 3 things you want to be able to communicate. And you want to be able to communicate them clearly and with speed. Why? Because there's 8 billion people in the world, and you don't have time to sit there and preach to that one, even though that one might be the one. But if they are the one, you're going to say it as quickly as you need to say it to move on to the next one, because you can't see through bifocals or X-ray vision who's going to run with the seed. So I like using this example. I see Sister Colleen's on the line. Sister Colleen might say, hey, brother, what kind of work do you do? What business are you in? Now, mind you, I gave you the 3 things, right? What kind of business am I in? How much money can I make? What exactly do I need to do to make the money? Oh, well, thank you for asking me, sister. I'm in the car relocation business. I make over $1 million a year stealing cars. How long did that take? You see how simple it is? And then I'm on to the next one. Did I accomplish what I intended? Yes. I told them the 3 things that were necessary. I told them what I did for a living. I relocate cars. How much do you make? I make $1 million a year stealing cars. What exactly do I have to do? That was answered right then when I told you what I did. And what does it do? It produces only 3 types of results or responses. You're going to be like, wow, really? How do I get started? Or you might be, man, I don't think I can do anything like that. That's sort of crazy. That's illegal, isn't it? Or it might produce a response of, can I steal bikes instead of cars? You see, you're either going to get the yes, the no, or the maybe. You're going to get the the green light, the yellow, or the red light. You're going to get that, but you tell more people faster. And the more succinct you are in delivering the invitation, the more success you'll have with your follow-up. Okay? The more success you'll have with your follow-up. So yes, sister, we say less to more people faster, and we keep going to yield the results we desire. Now, the art of follow-up, reverse follow-up. Reverse follow-up is what I just showed you. I contacted people in my book of lists. All right. But who did I concern myself with? Because after they said yes, I crossed them out in here, but I didn't cross them out first. When they said yes, I committed them to my book of follow-up. You see? Then I removed the name here, or drew a line through the name here, so I know where I left off. I draw a line through those names, and I include them here because now I have a date, a time of when I'm going to follow up with them, and where I left off. If they have a P next to their name, they receive the presentation. And then the date there will show what day and what time I'm to follow up with them regarding the presentation. And when you do it, you always regiment yourself with time in mind. And so in that other part of organize, and that's known as reverse follow-up. You don't keep going back to the people that you reached out to. You keep them in that book of lists because you're going to come back to it maybe in 3 months, maybe in 6 months as you comb through it. But there's so many people in the world, I promise you, when you get them all dedicated here, you have runners. There are runners in there. And that will create your cash flow. What maintains cash flow? You have to have a product that grows with you and for you. Remember, wealth building is a combination of leverage and exponential growth. So the leverage is you're saving in gold. You're exchanging your paper dollars for gold, right? And your exponential growth is you're telling two people to do exactly what you've done. You're telling two people to do exactly what you've done. You see, think about what Mr. Dalco shared in this opportunity earlier this morning. You know, go back and watch it and you'll see. So the reverse follow-up, I only concern myself with the people that I put in the book of follow-ups. I don't go back to the same person 6 or 7 times in a week. That's a waste of valuable time. And here's the other thing about time. When you take massive action is designed to do only what's required in this book. And this book allows you to do that. So you'll do what is required in this book, because this book only does 3 things. It invites, it presents. It presents, it closes. That's what this book does. Okay, for those who just joined the stream, you joined a little late and you don't know what I'm speaking of. Hey, Sister El Ruby, good to see you, Queen. I look forward to getting back to pennies to gold. Hey, Sister Imani, Assalamu alaikum, good to see you. And Trina Purdue James and the James Gang. When I started out, we talked about list. Our subject matter is the list is the absolute distance between where you are and where you want to be. So I have 2 books that I work out of. I have the book of lists and I have the book of follow-up. Okay, I write down all my names in this book, and then I reach out to them in the prescribed hour. I reach out to them and ask them, hey, I invite them to the opportunity. They say yes. I take out the follow-up book and I write their name in this book along with the date and time I spoke with them and the time that I'm going to follow up with them and where I left off. So there may be a P here for presentation. And I'm so intentional with it. I have a special pen that I work with in this book. I don't work with just any pen. I set myself up to make sure that I am intentional. Everything I do is with intention. Okay. So I followed up with that. And then I showed or explained how this book represents cash flow. Because now I'm able to, because I'm organized this way, and I go from person to person in this book of lists because I have dates and I have times associated with it. And you always want to give yourself time. When you reach out to a person and they say yes, and you want to follow with them, you got to know what kind of time you have in your day. Can I reach back out to you at 3 o'clock? Great. The next person, can I reach back out to you at 3:30? Great. Next person, can I reach back out to you at 3:45? Wonderful. Can I reach back out to you at 4:15? Great. Can I reach back out to you at 4:45? Great. And you keep moving in that line. You give yourself space to successfully follow up. Now, what happens when you follow up with the person? Hey, Sister Tracine, did you see the video? No, I didn't have a chance to do it. Oh, well, can you just tell me what it's about? No, because I'm still saying less to more people faster. It's about urgency. And you rob the conversation of urgency when you try to explain. So when she says, no, I didn't get a chance to see it, can you tell me what it's about? My response is going to be, when do you think you'll have time to see it? You think you'll be able to see it by 6 o'clock today? I can call you back at 6. You know, and she might be insisting on knowing more about it. You know, oh, it's a great opportunity where you get paid to save from the safety and comfort of your home. You think you'll see it by 6 o'clock today? You commit them to a time, make them think on it. You don't say anything before they answer, and then you write the time down for your new follow-up. Great. I'll talk to you then at 6. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 4. Whatever you agreed on. And you close it and on to the next one, because there are 8 billion people in the world. So last couple of points I want to make now are related to organizing your time. See, because when you're able to do it like this, you know what you have time for? You have time to follow up on those other aspects of cash flow inside this ecosystem of carrot bars. Too many of us are, this is my opinion, too many of us are grabbing at straws because we're struggling with the business, because we don't do everything related to the system that's related to the business. We won't make a list. We'll scroll through our phone, and because we'll send out a blast text to everybody, we think that everybody's going to respond because we responded. But it doesn't work that way. A blast text tells people that this is not personal for you. A blast text is a spam of a person. It's a waste of valuable time of people who are trying to figure out what to do with their life next. And it's personal to them. So you got to reach out to them personally in order to enjoy the formula. Now, it's a little different if you have a mass event going on, a live event. You might reach out to everybody to share, to come at one time. But there's also techniques for that. And we'll explore some of those later. So the art of the reverse follow-up is where you concern yourself with only those who said yes. Okay. I think I beat that horse enough. Now, what does it allow you to do when you follow up like that correctly? It allows you, family, to now go back to those things inside the wealth system, because you have time on your side. When you finance your freedom, Sister Ruby's a free woman. I'm a free brother. You see, when I moved from 90 hours a week to firing the job, how did I do it? Because I dedicated myself to that system that will allow me to finance my freedom. When I started earning more per day than I was earning at the plantation, who won? Me. And why would I hold on to something that's yielding nothing for me, relatively speaking? Okay, so I gradually weaned myself away to the point I could be done with it. You see? You know, to the point that I was done with it. Now, this is something that will happen for everybody who desires freedom and follows the system. Okay, so with me, I made it a point to say less to more people faster. So I spoke with 100 people per day, and for the first 7 days of the business, and then 2 of those days I used to follow up with the people I spoke with. I wasn't as organized then, but once I developed the system, guess what happened? Then I was able to turn around and join other formats, Pennies to Gold, to learn how the world of coin exchange and cryptocurrency works and how I can make it work with our Carrotbit, inside of our Carrotbit system, inside of Karatbars. That formula is dope. Excuse me. It's very enlightening, you know, and I utilized it to build. Okay. And then, you know, it freed up time. Now, because I have a system that's developing cash flow, let me show you how I develop the cash flow. You know, we have ups and downs in our business, but we don't have flat out zeros. We have ups and downs, but we don't have flat out zeros because it's about duplication, folks. When you make it easy for people to do the business, guess what they'll do? They'll do the business. When we overcomplicate it, guess what we have? Stagnation. When we try to micromanage people, we have stagnation, and we cripple that person. Now, mind you, you got to be very responsible with your sponsorship now, because you're sponsoring people and they can't go anywhere else once they sign up with you. So when you sponsor them, you put all the tools in their hands that makes them dependent on a system, because human beings will fail each other. But a system runs 24 hours, 7 days a week. A book will work 24 hours. A DVD, a CD, you pop it in, it's going to work 24 hours. All right? It works. It works. When you can't, when you're so tired, when you're so fatigued, where the phone is falling out your hand because you're just babbling, you're talking all out your head, rambling sometimes. But guess what? Guess what? The realmoney.info is working. Your capture page is working. MyWBW.net is working. You see? Even when you can't, you make people dependent upon a system. You make them dependent on the system, and what happens, they know exactly where they need to go to get the information that they are looking for. And then you're able to follow with them a little later on. All right. So look, this is our plugged in day. Today, get plugged, stay plugged. Miss Maxine Jones is gracing the mics. Today, she's on the ones and twos at 10:45 a.m. Eastern time. That's our power call. And that power call does everything that it's designed to do. It gets you inspired, but it also informs, it educates, it celebrates. You'll hear calls on there and you hear from people. You did learn about Mr. Kiyosaki yesterday, didn't you? For those who didn't hear about Robert Kiyosaki on our power call yesterday, then go back to the replay. Go back to the replay. That's right, Sister Trina James. The system teaches them how to fish. It's absolutely right. You know, which is the point that came out of our training earlier in this week when we dealt with the 4 spiritual laws of abundance. You know, you start making money, right? And you start giving it away. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I was in a conversation with one of our senior partners, and a fellow approached the senior partner and asked him for some money. And the person knew that the partner had the money because it was clear that the partner makes money. So the partner says, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to help you with that. And oh boy was like, come on, you know you got the money. You could see it in his face. He didn't say that, but you could see it in his face. Yes, I make money. Yes, I do. I have a lot of it, but if I give you that money, I'm spending out of my grandchildren's children's legacy. This is theirs. You know, if I loan you the money, Mr. Best says in his discussion, then I'm giving you the money of my children. I can't do that. You see, legacy building. I started in this opportunity all of a sudden making money. And the first thing I did was jump on planes, get a car rental, and I went from city to city sharing this opportunity with other people. I wasn't providing anything on the scene initially. I wasn't providing CDs or DVDs or books, and everything was an expense as I was and rewarding, but it was an expense. I'm traveling to cities where there was no requirement on them to take care of my hotel, take care of my travel, take care of me, make sure I ate, and I'm doing everything. I'm balling. I'm doing these events. I'm doing presentations, and then I'm sitting down and I may be treating this one to dinner, whether they ask for it or not, and we're having more nugget dropping. Everybody's taking notes, and then I go on to the next city. What did I gain? I'm not working my business. I'm helping them develop theirs. What happens when you just got to be careful? You got to learn you got to understand this, that when you give out of your coffer, your tithe, right? When you give to someone else's need, it puts you in need. So you got to learn how to budget and manage and plot, plan, strategize, as Pac used to say. You got to do those things that keep the residual perpetual. You keep it growing, right? So today, Sister Maxine Jones, 10:45 Eastern on the power call. And then today you have the 2 and 2. All right. At 12 noon, I will give the live event, the Wealth Builders presentation, 12 noon at www.goldrocks.info. Drive your teams to that presentation. And then at 9 p.m., you have the trainer of trainers. I like to refer to him as Mr. Al Murray. Mr. Murray is on tonight at 9 p.m. Drive people to those presentations, your power call, your 12 o'clock, and your 9 o'clock, vital to the growth of your business. And this is a system. We're talking out of a system, folks. And what happens? It allows people to become dependent and regimented with the system. And then those of you who wish to join me tonight at 9 p.m. on Kalfani Radio, The Goal is Gold. The show is tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Kalfani Radio Facebook page. We'll be there doing what we do. Okay. And then, of course, again, I want to remind you at 6 p.m. It's really called Living the Quarantine Life. It says the quarantine life there, but Living the Quarantine Life, that's my YouTube live presentation I do on my YouTube channel, Eric Trey Muhammad, Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. And I'm Monday through Saturday here at 8 a.m. Eastern on the class in session presentation. I want to thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to share with you. What you heard in the beginning of the program came from our brother producer, Brother Kenny Gamble, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And that message was entitled, I'll Fight You. Okay. And I'll Fight You was birthed out of Kenny Gamble's desire. Kenny Gamble is also known as Brother Lukman Abdul Haq out of Philadelphia. Now, this is Gamble, Kenny Gamble and Huff team that gave you Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Teddy Pendergrass, the Jacksons when the Jackson 5 left Motown. They were responsible for a lot of shows, a lot of plays, a lot of television series. Even up into last year, Kenny Gamble was still doing, Brother Haq was doing shows, writing music, composing all over the world. And so he came through to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam, as a young man, a young Muslim. And he said in this box set from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Let's Change the World, he told the minister, brother, you got some great work here, but you need a rap song. You need to do some rap. And he had Snoop and he had everything, but he wanted the minister to spit. And so he went away and came back with a compilation. And when the minister heard it, it was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaching how God fights with rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. And he heard it, and he heard the message. And then he comprised a rap. And there's a music video on it that was shared Savior's Day of 2014 that we saw exclusively as believers and followers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan at the Savior's Day convention. It has not been released. I believe it was a part of the Netflix movie that was to be aired last year that they banned when it got out how popular it was going to be. The enemies of our rise decided that Netflix was not going to air that program. That's okay. We control the narrative of our story. So what I want to do, I'm going to show you the trailer. For those who didn't see it, I'm going to show you the trailer of this life journey, this box set. And then I'm going to find a way to come back to the musical. Actually, I'm going to skip the music selections because of the time. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back on again, and we'll be playing another selection from Minister Farrakhan and his work. But I'm going to move it forward and share with you the last portion of the, I'll close out with the trailer. All right. And again, I want to thank you all for the honor and the pleasure to come before you today. And I'm going to share this with you now from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I'll see us tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Class is in session. I hope you found some value in what we shared today. Thank you. Peace and power.
People really don't know Farrakhan. They know me as a teacher, but they don't fully know the soul of a man, and I think that can best be expressed through music.
Oh, release so you can get as much time, but never jump.
You will never be a great teacher until you become a student. Music is a universal language. Every note has a different vibration. Human beings are like this. Different shapes, different colors, different sizes, different vibrations. But what the world needs now is a composer so that we don't vibrate creating dissonance and discord, but vibrate creating harmony and unity and peace.
Evening, everyone.
Who let all these people in here? This man, who is an anti-Semite and known to be one, who extolled Hitler and carries these goons with him right into our country. My question is, who authorized it, and are you going to permit him to desecrate this place?
Those who condemn me, who call me a bigot, who call me a racist, who call me a hater, who call me an anti-Semite, I want you to listen to me real carefully tonight. And if anything like that comes out of my mouth, raise your hand and stop me here. But you'll only be raising your hand no matter what your color is and cheering me on, because that is what they say I am. But tonight, you judge for yourself. My music with Jerry. You like it.
Thank you, everyone. I will see us on the power call today, www.goldrocks.com. info at 10:45 Eastern. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you, and I pray that you found some value in what we shared today. I'll see us all at 10:45 Eastern. Peace and power. Forward.